You know what? And it was fun while it lasted. There we go. Connection is gone. There it is. It's gone. Officially. It is now officially gone. Hello guys, Rash here. I just thought I'd like to say, make a thank you letter to the Overwatch team as a whole. So a little bit ago, I was actually on streaming the final hour of Overwatch 1, and I did export the VOD to YouTube. So if you want to watch the whole entire thing, you can find it there. And it was very nice. It was actually a very tender moment. There was a good message, and I'll just play the clip here. Actually, take off the face cam just for a second. Here's what they said. Right here. Right here. Look around the chat. Even the best journeys end, but a new one is right around the corner. Thank you, heroes. See you October 4th. Yeah, it was just overall a nice letter. One thing I will also like to, I also do know, it was actually very tender. I would say that, to be honest, we actually, like, it felt like we should world peace at it. We should world peace at it. We should world peace at it. Actually meant to say, I felt like we achieved world peace after that. Thank you. Like, no, like, in both of my games and everything, except for maybe the last one, but even then, I would say, in both of my games I did play during that whole entire thing, nobody wanted to cap the objective, or at least intentionally, or want to kill each other. We were all just vibing, just having our last goodbyes and everything. Like, granted, there was one Hanzo tour player on the last match who was still trying hard to win the game, despite everybody just trying to chill, you know. But I would say other than that, it was still very wholesome. But the reason why I want to say thank you, and is because even though I'm not, like, at this point in time making a full-time job out of the content creation out of Overwatch, there's still a lot I have to thank for. What was I, and where did my journey start with the game, kind of thing. So before I played Overwatch, I was primarily a CS, Go, and TF2 player. And I was 16. The game came out. I'm 22 now. To give it so it's been, it's been 6 years since the game has been essentially, the game lasted for about 6.5 years or so. I didn't play until November. I didn't have really any money, I was usually focused in terms of, I didn't have a job when I was in high school. I didn't get a job until after high school, kind of thing. But most of my money that I ever got was like just mowing lawns, etc. For relatives, etc. But that's besides the point. I was on the laptop. Didn't run Overwatch very well. I was debating whether or not to play it, because I still love TF2. I didn't want to really change game, anything like that, I had a friend who played during the Overwatch 1 beta, and he said, he told me that was pretty fun. I'm like, oh, really? Like, how is it now? And he says, that's really, really fun. This is like 2016 era. And so I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. They announced a free weekend for the Thanksgiving / Black Friday weekend kind of thing. So I tried it at that time, and I fell in love with the game. I immediately got all the money that I had, which was around like $80. I had $80 from like birthday or etc. or just money long, because I didn't really have much else to spend on yet, kind of thing. I was gonna save it for a new PC, but I really wanted the game because it was just an amazing game. I didn't care if I had a like frame rate or anything like that. I just wanted to play the game. And being said, when I got the game, it was in November of that year. My very first map was Temple of Anubis, which is quite good contrast how people think about it now. But it was actually considered a decent map. Nobody really knew the game. It was still people were kind of things figured out and everything. I remember there's actually one of my old videos has like the clips of it had made on that, because I couldn't actually record while playing. I actually had to record clips afterwards to get any footage of the game for me personally. That was my initial play. I know and the reason I have to thank it for is I've been here since I've been in Overwatch since through all the good and all the bad. I was here when Brig launched, and it hurt. Give me an idea of who I was and how I progressed even just as a player. I started as a bronze player. I was hardest for bronze when I first started. 5 seasons. My lowest ever was around 900 or so. I didn't have the frame rate to really take advantage of my mechanics that I developed from CS and TF2, and just the frame rate was just not there. But I remember saying, you know what, screw it, I can't do anything about my frame rate. I'll just focus on my positioning and game sense and all that jazz, and I climb the goal within the next 2 seasons. Despite being a 30 FPS Widow player, and even for a couple of seasons, I was actually a one trick. I know it's scary. I remember playing 30 FPS Widow versus Ghost, and it was frustrating as crap. And that, I mean, gameplay wise, it's been somewhat frustrating, even after I got upgraded, just because of balance alone, right? But I would say that one thing that I can absolutely not ignore is the fact that I made a lot of very close friends in Overwatch. In fact, I remember when the friends that I actually made in Overwatch 1, she and I met. She was probably the very first friend that I met in Overwatch 1. Back then, you know, when Overwatch first was the thing, it wasn't a deathmatch yet. It was just like the very first iteration of like Widow Headshot only was essentially a skirmish, because there wasn't a deathmatch yet. So that was like the deathmatch of Overwatch for quite a while. And I made a lobby. That friend among 2 other people that would also become friends, with joined in. I spawn camped them inside their spawns. It was on Nepal. And that's how we became friends. And that is one of my favorite memories. And I still have some friends that still play the game. You know, that still played Overwatch 1 that I am still close friends with. You know, you probably, if you have, any of you have watched my stream, link in the description by the way, you've probably noticed that I've deal with somebody named Pardonis. I met him through Overwatch. You probably seen me meet somebody named Angel Blocks. I met her through Overwatch as well. You know, then that's just stuff you think. Just examples of friends that I made. And a lot of them, even that, like my ex who I did meet, no longer plays the game. You know, she and I are played other games together all the time elsewhere. And I would not give that up for a minute. When I was in high school, I had some rough era. I had a little bit there were some dark periods in my life, but one of the things that definitely helped me get through it was Overwatch. That is something that I have to thank the game for as well. Not the only thing, but it's one of the many things that helped me keep me going, especially when I needed it most. And that is not something that I can just easily let go. You know, that I owe this game, believe it or not, a lot more than I'd probably initially think. But yeah. Anyways, again, I thank Blizzard for everything, both the good and the bad, and I cannot wait for tomorrow. See you on this other side. Have a nice day.